What's going on, guys? Blake Hawthorn at Itshisturf. In today's video, we are at one of our HOAs and we have got a total montage for you. So you're not going to see the whole property getting cleaned up, but you're going to see bits and pieces of it thrown together for you guys to enjoy. We are doing over 140 properties here, and it got dark on us. Rain came the next day, so you don't get to see the finished product because we actually went out there and finished it in the rain, and it was a nasty mess. But I hope you do enjoy it. So leave it in the comments down below, give it that thumbs up, and be sure and watch to the end. But before we get fully immersed in it, let's do today's scripture of the day. Today's scripture of the day comes from Romans chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. It says, "Therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand, and we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God." Guys, God bless. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you on the next one. That's right. Not today, Satan. We find our peace in Jesus Christ. So welcome to the chaos of the Leaf Games 2025. We've got some new equipment out here, and it's going to be just complete and total chaos. I've got our producer and videographer, Justin, with me here in the studio, and we're going to be giving you guys a play-by-play, showing you some new techniques and different ways that we tackle these leaves.
Absolutely, Blake. It's a very exciting opportunity to be here right now with you guys, just really drinking in the leaves, the ocean of leaves, if you will, just going across the pavement at an absolute rate that I've not ever seen before. I'm going to tell you, I was out there for the first time, completely blown away, literally, and no pun intended, but just blown away at how many leaves are being moved. How do you guys do it? I have no idea.
So, I mean, a lot of years of experience. You know, we have just a lot of hours on these machines and running these blowers. But no, jokes aside, these leaves are a pain to do because they are off of some maple trees. They're beautiful red foliage, but when they drop their leaves, they all fall at once. And we only service this property twice a year. We do it once before Thanksgiving and once before Christmas.
Whoa, this property, I mean, we're not talking about just a property, right? We're talking about possibly one of the biggest properties that Itshisturf has, correct?
This is the largest property that we service. It's over, I think it's like 136 homes with a couple different POA buildings and stuff. And it takes all hands on deck to knock this thing out.
Well, all hands on deck, absolutely. Looks like right now we've got all hands on deck. Look at the amount of leaves that are being blown directly into the camera leaf wall there. Blake, what on earth are your guys doing to move that many leaves at this amount of mass?
All right, so this technique we call is the windrow. So it is getting accompanied by the windstorm, which helps blow that. But what we do is we go in the backyards, we blow all the backs to the front and in the side, and then on up to the street. And then our goal is to get it windrowed into the street, so then we can push it down with the technique that you'll see in just a second called the leaf dozer, where we push it in with the lawnmower into a big pile so that we can bring the vacuum in and suck them up.
You talk about windrows, like we all know about the windrow, but I have no idea what the windrow is. How does a windrow play into this game? What makes it so special?
All right, so you need at least, I'd say, 6 inches of leaves on the asphalt to be able to push it with the mower. If not, you're just gonna be running over the top of it. So we take the blowers and we get it down, you know, into one area or space. So like we use the street because it's easiest to blow down the road and on the asphalt. So that's where you see right now. All the guys are taking it, getting it into the street. We come in from the sides and the back with the stand-ons. And as soon as we start to get that huge pile, that's when we bring in the leaf dozer.
Whoa, I'm being told right now that the guys that are standing on the blowers have it easier than the guys walking. What's going on with that? Is that a controversy, guys? What's going on? We're moving way more leaves and driving on the grass. I mean, are we getting complaints here, or what's happening?
So we are going to get some complaints. There's a couple people that do not want a big machine on their yards.
I know I wouldn't, but continue.
They want push mow only, and I just tell them that doesn't apply to leaf removal.
Ah, see, okay.
And yeah, there's probably a little bit of animosity, you know, between the guys on who's on the stand-on. But you'll see as the video continues that they do a good job of rotating. The guys you see on the stand-on blowers right now will not be the same guys you see at the end of the video.
Oh, we're going for the aerial shot now. Looks like we're
leaf
flying.
Dozer. That is the leaf dozer. That is the move.
This is the leaf dozer move. Are there any other teams out there that you think are actually using that technique, or is this exclusive to you guys?
There's probably guys that will spend the money on what we call like a leaf plow that goes on the front of it, so you don't tear up your deck and ruin your mower. But we just use the deck on the mower.
So you're erring on the side of saving a penny, is what you're saying, to sacrifice the mower.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
I'll probably catch one in the comments on that one. But
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
we definitely probably need to get us a leaf plow. But I like it too, because then like you saw a second ago, we fired up the blades on it, we mulched them up, and discharged them over to the
Well, I'm going to have to jump in for a second. That sounds wonderful with blades and mulching, but what on earth is happening? It looks like we're about to lose it here. What, is this a giant shop vac? What's happening?
So this is what we call our leaf, our vacuum, our leaf vacuum. And so this truck has a debris loader on the back of it, and we go around to the piles and suck it up. So this is a new machine. If you're an OG, you used to see a green machine. That was our Billy Goat. It mulched them up a lot better than this Skag, but the new orange one is very convenient because it is a trailer unit that we drag behind the truck.
Okay, I just saw the guy just blow the leaves into the grass. Is that standard play, standard procedure there? What's happening?
He better get in that yard and mulch them up,
Okay.
because if not, I'm going to be getting a call back. And so you did see, he went back and mulched them up, made them disappear in the grass.
Very close call there. So you're here to hear first, guys. To make the play of the week, if you're going to blow your leaves back into the lawn, you better put your mower on there and mulch them up. We don't want any unhappy customers coming out saying, hey, what's going on with these leaves? Let's transition to segue here real quick. We've got guys going down the road. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, guys going down the road, but this is where you're going to start to see that new blower getting put into play. That is that Pro Run that we found off of Amazon. It was inspired by a Facebook post that we had seen on Lawn Care Life, and this machine was $356. Great price point on a blower, because we like to use the Husqvarna 580s, which are like $600. So they're a good backpack blower for your homeowners. You know, those of you homeowners that are wanting one, maybe you want one for your grandson so you can come clean up your yard. Great unit there. But this we thought was going to be a good price point on us. Ended up not being, just because I didn't buy the extended warranty, and she blows up by the end of the And the reason I recommend the extended warranty is because it blew up in less than a day's worth of use. But I've had a lot of guys say how good they are. For me, I'm still dealing with the warranty issues, and I haven't got it replaced, where if I'd have paid the extra $40 for the extended warranty, they would have sent me a new one just like that.
Could it be because you put this blower into one of the biggest leaf games that you've ever had? I mean, let's remember here, we are talking about the leaf game video here. We've got, how many yards were we doing right now?
136.
And you're asking this $200 and something, $300 blower to perform at that level?
All day long. That's right. He gets a 1 hour break for lunch, just like the guys, and then it's back at it till sundown.
My goodness gracious. Well, it looks like we're seeing more of that beautiful leaf vacuum in action. Again, it's just basically a giant vacuum cleaner, if I'm understanding correctly, that sucks up pretty much anything and everything.
That's right. So this technique here, you see the guys in the back, they've got to keep it off the roof. It is so difficult to blow those leaves through those little gates that all it wants to do is just shoot up into the air.
Well, let's just stop and pause for a second, Blake. You didn't mention the flying V formation that we had of guys rolling through and pushing that amount of leaves at such speed and accuracy. Is that something you guys practice all year long?
Yeah, that flying V comes from, days back at Mighty Ducks, when we were over there playing some ice hockey.
Oh, wow.
It works great, because then you can work the piles of leaves from the side all the way to the point. It's great formation.
I got to say, from just a rookie standpoint here when it comes to doing leaves, I'm absolutely impressed with the amount of integrity and focus that I'm seeing going into the positioning of the guys with the leaves and the blowers, the backpack blowers, the guys. Well, we're still driving on lawns, obviously, but you've already touched on how we feel about driving on lawns. What we got going on right now? Why are we going to the backyard? What's happening?
Like I said, each property we have to blow the backyards out and get them to the front. There's no access out in the backyard, so they come up through the front and make it to the street. The best way we have found, we used to do like what we called the leaf burrito. And that would be make a big pile in the backyard, get a tarp down, rake it up on it, wrap up the edges, and drag it to the front. And that's usually when it got loaded onto a trailer and mulched up. Like, I was anti-leaf vacuum for the longest time.
Well, you had me at leaf burrito there. So you're telling me that a tarp burrito leaf was your best action to get leaves moved across yards like that?
It was early on, which was not ideal at all.
Hold on a second, Blake. What are you having your guys do right here in the Leaf Games 2025? I don't understand. What am I seeing?
Sweet old lady asked if we could blow the roof and gutters out. She was concerned, and I couldn't tell her no.
But yeah, you got to do what you got to do, right? So we're going to get on a roof and blow leaves, blow it out the gutter.
Yeah, against my better judgment.
Well, man, I'm telling you. How do your guys feel about that? I'm just curious.
So it's sketchy. I mean, it is an upcharge, you know, every time you get up on a roof, and you want your guys to be safe, so the pitch goes into play there. We do leaf removal and gutter cleaning on roofs, but we're very cautious about it. Make sure that frost, if it's this time of year, is burn off of that roof before we get up on it. Make sure the pitch isn't sketchy. And unlike there, hopefully somebody's holding that ladder.
Absolutely. Amen, brother. I know working for you, I've held a ladder or two already, some rickety ones I'm not proud to hold. Hopefully, maybe in one of your videos, we'll see that. Actually, a really nice customer of yours offered us up a ladder. I had to hold it to get your guy up there and was praying the entire time. But let's talk about what we're seeing right now in the yard. Some beautiful landscape, obviously a lot of obstacles to blow around. Your team seemed to be doing a really good job of avoiding those obstacles. Is that something you teach or something they had?
So we do teach it. Unfortunately, we're not the greatest at not getting the mulch out of the beds. So the bad thing about getting the leaves out of the beds at this rate is you end up blowing some mulch out of there. So that's probably our number one complaint from homeowners is, hey, your guys are super fast, super effective, but I don't have any mulch left in my beds. So we do offer a pretty nice discount in March to remulch flower beds.
I was about to say, it sounds like that might be part of the business model. If those of you guys are watching at home, again, you're hearing it here first. So if you're losing mulch around the area where Itshisturf is, he is going to take care of you on the back end. So we got the leaf back again. I love saying leaf back. Probably my favorite part of this video so far is just seeing that giant pile disappear that quickly, going into this giant machine. Like you said before, it's two different machines here. We don't know exactly, I can't remember the brand. Forgive me for not remembering, but just seeing this in action, seeing these guys just pile up the leaves, constantly moving down the road. Just recapping real quick, you said going to the pavement is probably the best way to do it because it's the most efficient way to push the leaves?
Yes, being on the asphalt is way more efficient. It's not getting caught up into the yard, and then we just keep moving down pile to pile, and then if you have a large gap between piles, that's when you see us blow it up into the yard and mulch it up. It's because we're jumping a large section, several houses before the next pile.
It's funny you mentioned that. I have noticed that. I was actually sitting here and I'm just wondering, watching these Leaf Game 2025, a lot of action, a lot of things happening, but I am noticing the leaf vac guy seems to be jumping into a formation I've not seen before. I don't know. It's almost like you're putting him in motion, if you will, on the snap here, and we're moving him up the line a little bit further, and then we've seen these leaves absolutely disappear. Such a wonderful technique. Is this something you guys have always had, or is it like something you've had in the playbook for a while that you don't want to get out there? What's going on with that?
So I like to, all of our properties, I try to do route density, even if they're not a POA. So I'm trying to get several houses. That way we can work everything out together and have fewer stops. We do the same thing here, just on a larger scale. So we're taking 5-6 houses into piles from both sides of the road, bringing them together and into one centralized location so we can keep moving down. The leaf vacuum travels probably 2 to 3 piles behind the crew as they're moving, and you end up delegating certain guys to the truck as the day goes on, and that way the crew is just staying in front of you and keeping you busy. The only downfall is when this truck fills up.
Ooh. So my next question to you then, just kind of seeing this firsthand and watching it is like, how many times do we have to dump that truck?
So yeah, we have a midday dump on this truck, and that's because it fills up in a hurry, and unfortunately this new debris loader is not mulching them up like our old one was, and so we can probably do about 75% of what we used to be able to do. But all in all, doing this many leaves, this many jobs, it's typical for this property to take us 3 to 4 dumps.
Well, let me ask you this, Blake. Just something just popped into my head as being a big kid and all. Like, I need scale. So when you dump this pile out of this truck, am I going to be chest high in it? Am I going to jump off a ladder and do an elbow drop in it? Like, how deep of a leaf pile are we talking coming out of this trailer?
You can definitely elbow drop this one.
So plenty of leaves coming out of that. So you guys are absolutely sucking up a ton of leaves. So where are we at on the property? What's happening?
All right, so we're coming around by one of the common areas. That's the clubhouse you see in the back, and this yard has a ton of pine straw, and pin oak leaves are two leaves that are terrible on this leaf truck. and because they do not mulch at all. So if you've got some dry maple leaves or dry, regular red oak leaves, they're going to mulch really well. But that pine tree right there, and then coming around this corner into these pin oak leaves, there's just not much mulching that happens, and they just build up really fast in that truck. Even though it's 16 foot long, and we've got 4 foot aluminum sides, and then we've got an additional 3 feet wooden sides, it still fills up so quick.
Absolutely. I definitely can see where that could be the case. And if you would, for us, again, bringing home the leaf game action here, what quarter are we in if we're watching this right now?
So if we were going to say quarter, we're going to be round, we're kind of mid-third quarter right now. Just came back, from halftime, and we are getting ready to get our last, major pin oak on the property cleaned up before we head down to our final stretch. And it is a brutal one. By this time of the day, we've already had lunch, and guys are starting to fade. It won't be until right there at the end of the fourth quarter when we hit our second wind, but the sun's going to be setting.
Oh, man. Well, I do love a good fourth quarter run here. So we're in about the third quarter. We're seeing the guys push through. Morale, it's still looking very high. We're still moving extremely fast. Tons of leaves coming out of this area that you guys are working with. Looks like we're using
We're back to using the leaf dozer.
The leaf dozer, like you said. Comment down below if you've leaf dozed before, if you've ever been interested in leaf dozing. Definitely looks like something exciting there. So what? One giant pile here, gonna get us closer to the fourth quarter, maybe.
Yeah, it's getting close to filling that truck up, because this is one of the last piles that we were able to do on the truck before we had to call it quits on the debris loader. And unfortunately, we stayed, and we didn't go dump right away. You'll see that in just a minute. We ended up staying on the property, finishing it till dark, and that meant come back the next day while it was raining.
My goodness gracious. So a little foreshadowing we're seeing here. Apparently a little bit of regret in the call, but hey, we all learn from our mistakes, right? We got to call shots, got to make chances here, take tries.
Right about here, when we were having trouble with that truck, you saw we slowed down loading it up. That's when we should have made the call to get that truck headed back to the shop, because then we would have had time to get it dumped, because it's about an hour turnaround to get it dumped, get it back out there. And we probably could have stayed a little past dark and had everything cleaned up.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm just wondering what would be going through the coach's head right there in those minds. I mean, you just kind of gave us a run through right there of what exactly would have been a great thing for us to do, for the coach to call this audible, if you will, in the middle of the play. Didn't quite get that opportunity, and like you said, it's a learning experience. We can take it into the next game, to the next yard, and we can learn from that. So looks excuse me, just swallowed bone spit. So it looks like we're moving into the the final stretch here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we are into the fourth quarter. This is the last stretch. We've got still some nice maples that are filling these yards up, and a couple pin oaks scattered throughout the properties, but a lot of landscape. So we have to be really careful, make sure we get enough leaves out to keep the customers happy, but leave enough mulch in there that, they're happy about that as well.
Man, I was watching that, and seeing you guys blow that close to cars. I happen to own a car or two, and that makes me nervous when I see people blowing next to cars. What is the technique you use to make sure you don't pelt the cars?
Biggest technique is to make sure if you do pelt the cars, you blow them off and they don't have dirt and dust left on them, so at least they're cleaned off. But it's difficult. I mean, you have to cut back. That's one thing that is hard to teach, is that you have to cut back off the throttle when you're in the flower beds and when you are blowing those leaves next to those vehicles. The leaf blowers aren't so bad as the stand-on blowers are. Stand-on blowers are the ones that, when you're pushing those acorns and those hickory nuts and things like that, you make sure you're not blowing them in the direction of the vehicle.
So in other words, you're saying that the stand-on ones, the one with wheels that we talked about, the no-no yard ones, can shoot projectiles. Yes. The acorns turn in projectiles with equal dents, broken windows, and such. So we've got skilled drivers, obviously. These guys are no rookies out here on the machines by any means. No,
that's right. Yeah, we had one that may have been deemed a rookie and had a complaint, and you can see they're not on they're not on the stand-on this time around.
Well, yeah. Speaking of rookies, I'm noticing a guy in all black that definitely does not belong there. He's got a rake in his hand.
I saw him.
Could you elaborate on that?
I saw him with a camera here a second ago. I think that he may have just got either one, tired of running that camera, or two, decided that we were in desperate need of some help.
Yeah, I'm not real sure, but I'm noticing his technique is it's a right to left technique that I've not seen any of your other guys use, nor a tool that they've used for that matter. Did you just not have a blower, or do you think he just didn't know about other type of equipment.
Probably out of the blower, but I think that's a technique that you learn by, you know, a lot of keyboard action.
Ah, I see. It looks like he's trying to pick up something that's probably too heavy for him there. We should probably get that guy off the job site, honestly. Sorry, guys, you're to see that. This is not professional stuff you're seeing by Amy. Okay, good. He's gone. What do we got going on? I mean, at this point, we got a guy on the top of your leaf blower vacuum.
He is packing those leaves down so that we can get that last little bit cleaned up. And as you can see, it is not going to happen.
Oh,
so
man.
now we are putting obstacles in the road so that our customers can dodge them the entire evening.
I was about to ask you, I mean, how do people feel that live here that have these leaf corners going on? I mean, do we have cars coming by at this point? I hadn't seen one yet, but I mean, I gotta assume there were cars coming through here.
Yeah, as the evening comes closer and closer, you'll see more cars start to come through, and that's where we try to have cones that we can go out and mark these piles with, especially when we have to leave them overnight.
Oh my goodness, setting up the cones. Now,
one morning I came to a pile, and there was a tire track right through the edge of it, and it was scattered about 30 feet past the pile. I knew exactly what happened. Somebody was on their phone not paying attention.
Well, I think we're coming close to the end of the game. I mean, we've seen a lot of blowing here of leaves, all different types of machines. We've been on roofs. We've done all kinds of things. So what's happening? What kind of wrap me up here? What we got going on?
Yeah, sun is set now. We are wrapping things up. I mean, as you can see, we're working underneath the street lights.
Gorgeous light.
What we're trying to do is just find a good stopping point of the project, of this property. So we're up towards the entrance at one of the common spaces, and our goal was just to finish the street we were on. So that way we knew kind of a good end point where we made it to come back and start them. People, for some reason, the customers get upset when it's after dark and we're out there making this kind of noise.
I can't imagine why you would be frustrated at that. Well, Blake, I gotta be honest with you, man. It was a real honor to be here with you and to just enjoy seeing what you guys do day to day.
Yeah, people at home, I appreciate you watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed a fun twist to the commentary and a play-by-play. If you can name those moves that we did today any better, please leave it in the comments down below, and we'll see you on the next video.